I bring the Boxwood Finance Committee meeting to order. We don't need to do a roll call vote because we're all here in person. And Gary knows who's here, I guess. Also noting that Honghua Lee is here with us. First thing is minutes for October 29th. Are there any comments on the minutes?
Yeah, can you just bring up OPEB?
While you do that, I'm just going to yell. Nick, can you make those of us on the FinCom co-hosts? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, can you just bring the OPEB comment up? There's a paragraph in
Yeah,
there.
I need to. Can you? Oh, it's not on Zoom, is that? I don't think. I need to zoom it. Hang on a minute.
Can you not hear me?
Zoom here. Share.
Are you not in yet?
Wait a minute, I see.
There we go. Okay. That's being shared now. So where do you want to go to, OPEB?
Yeah, there's OPEB, there's a comment.
How far down is that?
Just keep going. I think we need to commend Gary on these notes, by the way.
Yeah, Gary, you definitely earn your keep
There it
with
is,
these
right there,
minutes.
right there.
I'm earning my salary?
You are definitely earning your salary.
Thank you.
Okay. So the wording is, the policy is to fund OPEB to a minimum of $50,000 a year. There is a guideline to fund OPEB at $300,000 a year.
Yeah, that's the wording we discussed and
Yeah.
I know,
came to.
I was here for it. It just seems, in addition, and once the OPEB liability is fully funded, the policy of the town is to fund the pension liability at a guideline of $300,000. Okay. It just doesn't,
Well, we discussed it already, so I mean...
yeah, no, okay, that's fine.
I mean, we can go back and re-discuss it if you like, but I mean, we've already discussed it. And I
if
think
this
it's been
resonates with
to
everyone here, I just want to make sure we're all comfortable.
Well, and I think that the select board the night before had changed the language to this.
So the select board was
The select
involved?
board.
They've seen it as well.
Okay,
Yeah, and
all
they
right,
voted
well, I don't want to hold
There
things.
was some discussion about how you word that. The basic idea is that the minimum is $50,000 a year. We'd like to fund it at $300,000 a year, ideally, but if we set that as our minimum and we don't hit the minimum, hit 300,000, then we get dinged in our credit report because we haven't hit our target.
Right, so I think you've just wordsmithed it more clearly than what is up there.
It is not,
Yeah.
it was not wordsmithed as well on the fly. That's the problem. They were wordsmithing it that night of the meeting.
Right.
Right. And so it's really hard to do that on the fly.
Fine.
But then they voted it like this, so then we had to vote it like this.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, so at least now I understand what it is, kind of what you're getting at, but okay,
Yeah.
apologies.
There's a typo there, Gary, and below that saying OEPB rather than OPEB. In the paragraph below.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it?
3 lines up from the bottom.
Oh, I see it. I'll
Yep.
fix that.
Says I seconded, but okay.
Yeah. Are there any other comments on the minutes? Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve.
I can second.
Okay, so Neville made a motion to approve and Nayland seconded.
Thank you.
Okay.
You need to take a vote.
Oh, do we? Okay. Okay. So we do a vote. Becky.
You don't have to do that.
Okay.
All in favor.
All in favour.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay. Back to the agenda. Citizens' concerns. Nothing.
Nope, and we don't
nothing
have
here.
any citizens on our meeting other than us.
No reserve fund transfers I've received. The dashboard, I've got no new data for the dashboard. I think Honghua and Mike may have some updates on the ClearGov situation.
Yes, and unfortunately, so far, it's not looking good for them to be able to get what we're looking for on a quarterly basis with the dashboard information that we currently use. So we're still working with them. They've had some other communities that have also expressed that they would like to get what we're trying to get, but it's so far no results. And so I think we're going to have to do something manually until they move along to the path that we're looking to do. We were hopeful, but it's been unproductive so far on that front.
Yeah, I must say I do find that quite disappointing, given that we approved substantial funding last year for this new software, which is supposed to make life easy for us. I'm sure there's other things that it's actually delivering to us which are beyond the dashboard, but the fact that they can't sort of engineer things to actually deliver data in a package that we like is disappointing, I would say.
Yeah, this was very disappointing to Hung-Hwa and I as well, because it was certainly going to take a lot of the workload off, because it's pulling Hung-Hwa away from some of the productive work that she needs to do.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to work with them, but in the meantime, what I expressed to them when we most recently met was that if this isn't going to do what we intended for it to do, then we would like a different product. We know that money is non-refundable.
Right.
We understand that, but I expressed to them, if it won't do what we're trying to do with it, then we want a different product. There are 2 other products that they have, other modules, and we're looking at that. We're hoping that they'll be able, with enough pressure, they'll be able to come along and deliver what we're expecting, but it doesn't look likely at this point.
So do we pay like a one-off fee for that, or is it a subscription basis that we're paying for this product?
It's a subscription, so there was an annual subscription, so we would
Okay.
pay each year for it. So we won't pay for the second year. If
Okay, so we have an out then, basically. We could look around for something else
Yes,
for a future year.
correct.
So that money we approved last time was an
Was
annual fee?
Was just for the 1 year. Correct.
Okay.
Are there implementation costs when you set up a new system?
There are.
So are we working with like a third-party vendor that charges us an implementation cost for basically onboarding into the system? And
Yes.
then there's an annual fee for the subscription to the product?
Correct.
I'm sorry, refresh it. What is it that they can't provide us for the dashboard?
So what we had hoped was that the accounting software would be able to spit out for us on a quarterly basis the data we want for the dashboard, like what are all the costs by cost center for the quarter, what are the revenues for the quarter,
So everything.
all those things.
I find it bizarre that it
Is
can't.
it that
Yeah.
it can't present the data, or is it that it can't present it in the format that we want? Where is the block?
They're not able to present it in the format that we're looking for. So they can present it annually. What they're doing is they're able to present it in the format that our financial software puts it out in. And they can pretty it up with graphs and make it very presentable, but it's not a quarterly update like what you're used to seeing.
But if we got the same data elements that Tony is asking for in those reports, in theory, that's the most important part,
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
the data is consistent.
Yeah.
If we could get the data elements, the numbers, right, every quarter, that would be a start compared to where we are now. Do you know what I mean? So we could then take it and translate it and put it into something pretty.
Right. And yeah, I do know what you mean. And we're going to continue to work with them and see if we can get something that's useful. But so far, what we've got from them has been very pretty, but not useful.
So they're saying they can't provide us numbers quarterly.
Correct.
That just
Well, that's the whole-
boggles my mind.
that- yeah,
It's an
yeah,
accounting,
yeah,
it's an
yeah,
accounting
yeah.
software.
Yeah.
Like, they should be able to present us numbers quarterly, daily, monthly, hourly. Like, we should, QuickBooks can do this. And QuickBooks is like, an at-home type of
$200 a
software.
month.
Well,
They've,
Vadar does. Existing software, Vadar does that as well, because I've seen it on Hong-Hwa's computer. She showed me how to do that. So Vadar can do a quarterly numbers.
Yeah, well,
It just seems crazy.
Yeah.
it does, and we have the same exasperation, but so far, no success in getting, what we're looking for. But we're going to continue to work on it.
Okay.
Can I meet with them when they meet with you next?
Absolutely.
Let me know when they come in, because I'd love to come. I'd love to come and talk to them about that as well directly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, I think this is to me it is sort of mind-boggling. The more you sort of think about this, that they can't just give us a number. I mean, if we want a number, say, what did DPW spend for Q1? That you're saying they can't give us that number?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
yeah, pretty much.
That seems crazy.
He says, they can't provide the data, and they can't provide it at a quarterly level,
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do it annually.
and they can't make it look pretty the way we want.
But we need to know information before the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, making it pretty is not the issue.
That's what I-
right?
I
Yeah,
said that
agree with
earlier,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
right? Just
I
send me
agree
the
with that.
spreadsheet.
I agree
Yeah.
with you on that. It just seems, yes, we need it more. And my concern is we use them for budgeting this year, and then we change our software next year and use a different software for budgeting.
No, we're not going to change our budgeting software.
Okay. So we would not change that. Is
Correct.
that part of all of this?
Well, it's a separate module. They have a number,
Okay,
they've got a capital budgeting software,
Okay.
they've got an operating budget software, they've got 5 or 6 different modules. We bought into 2 of them.
Okay.
If this doesn't work, I would drop the
one
one.
module.
Yeah,
So there's the base budgeting module, I assume, correct?
yes, which so far we've been very happy with.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
so the second one is what, a reporting layer, or?
What they call is transparency.
It's not very
Not really.
Well, if you go to some of the towns that, like,
Sorry.
they're based out of Maynard. Maynard uses them. If you look up the Maynard town website and look up budget or transparency, it'll show you what, it's doing. It's not what you're looking for. They're giving more annual, here's how you are compared one year to the next, to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next. And, we thought we were going to be able to get this quarterly. We thought, what's the big jump going from annual to quarterly? But apparently they're just not geared for it yet. They know there's a demand out there for it. They're not just hearing it from us, but they haven't retooled to be able to put it in there. But, Tony, we will set up another meeting and let you know when that
I'd love
is.
to come and talk to them directly,
Yeah.
because I find it sort of incredible that they can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Hung Hwa had something.
Like, for the FY '25 actual, like the first quarter, I have to run a radar report
Yeah.
and then like email it to them, and then they upload it through the ClearGov. I can't manually like go in there and put in the number. I have to send them the report, and then they does it. And then I said, can you run me like a quarterly, like how you want it? They couldn't do it.
Yeah, that just seems like
Yeah.
crazy. The
Yeah.
emailing part is insane.
Right.
That's crazy,
Right.
right? Because you could email it to Tony and then he can upload it into the really pretty slides and then that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, well, at least that would still be more consistent. with what we were
Exactly, but these people, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more work, exactly, versus being able to just go in on your computer, have access to it, manipulate it, and,
Yeah, and as Hung Hwa said at the last meeting, it was, if you can give us in this format, then we can display it. It's like, no, displaying is the least of we want to automate it.
you're
And
right.
that's what we've not been able to get to.
That's crazy. Okay.
Okay. And for budgeting this year, will we use ClearGov or the existing spreadsheet?
ClearGov.
ClearGov.
But you're
Okay.
happy with that budgeting so far?
So far, so good. We've had, Hung Hwa and I have been through all of our training, and then more recently, all the department heads and anyone else in the departments that's assisting with the budget has gone through their training. And the departments have actually gotten their budgets in, and today was the first day that Hung Hwa and I have been able to actually sit and look at all the budgets. We haven't been able to do all our work to smooth it together yet, but so far, so good.
I have
And-
to ask, how often do the budgets update?
Right, that's what I was just going to ask that. I was going to say, do
Is it
you
real
update the
time?
budget
Is it a real-time update?
document?
It's real time, so whenever they make changes, I can see.
Okay.
Okay, all
Hey,
right.
John,
And you can make the changes
You're not going to
and
be
all
able to hear
that.
you on TV.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You need to sit
Okay,
closer.
all right, so that's fine. That was actually, you're laughing, but that was my
I'm
legitimate
being-
question,
I'm-
like, is it updated?
It was a snarky
And it
question.
has history? It was able to upload
It
the
has the history, past year's history.
Okay.
Now, this is a budget building software. This isn't something that's going to, show as we're spending through the budget. This is to help us build and, get us through the winter budgeting season.
Right,
So-
Just to be clear.
To replace that Excel spreadsheet that we use.
Exactly.
Right, which is, and then, once it's used, it's uploaded into your accounting stuff, Beta or whatever.
Right.
And that's how you do it, right.
Correct.
So,
And does that give us a financial model as well, or is it just the expense budget?
It's just the expense budget.
Okay. So we'll still need to do a financial model to actually model out what that looks like in terms of other income and other expenses.
There is, so every fund that Hanwha has in the software, it'll have that as well. So we can put in revenues also, but it's
Okay.
not going to model it out the way that you've shown it. I think
Right.
it may be, at least for this season, it's probably still of value to have the model. But I
Okay.
think the nice thing is, we're not going to have broken links, we're not going to have, version control. I mean, once it's in there, that is the version, and we're all going to be able to see what that current version is. And then once the department head has submitted their budget, we have it, it's locked. And we can make changes on the editing end, but, and the departments will still see it if we're changing, and we're not going to change their budgets without them knowing, without a
but
conversation.
only you guys can make those changes.
Correct.
You can make, and then, does it have a summary page so that we can look at,
Yes.
similar to what we have now?
It's a little different, but yes, there's a
But-
summary.
basically.
Yeah, so it's hundreds and hundreds of lines, but then there's a summary where you can go and see what's the bottom line of every department.
And is every department broken out?
Yes.
So that when we look at every budget, it's broken out? Because I don't want to get to that point where you give us a document, we're like, okay, now this doesn't work for us because we have to add a bunch of lines. Each budget, every
Yeah,
department is broken out?
so when you go into the summary, you're gonna see, police, fire, DPW. And then, each one will have a drop-down list. So if you wanna see, okay, what's involved in police, you hit the drop-down, and now it's gonna break down into all their different lines. So, yeah, it'll have,
So you'll see everything broken
You can
down in
expand
detail
it.
like we got now.
Yes.
It's just in a drop-down. That actually
Correct.
totally sounds easier.
Please say that's available in an Excel format. Yeah, yeah. So we can actually drop it into our own model, because,
Right.
otherwise we're lost.
Okay. But we will have the detail for each department, so we can vote the departments and we'll know each detail line.
Yes.
Like we do now. It'll just be in a different way.
correct.
So we need a little bit of, okay, that's fine.
Okay. So for the actual model then, who will do the model this year? Is that going to be the town finance team, or is that going to be the FinCom? Because really, I don't think it should be the FinCom.
No, it shouldn't be. It should be the finance team.
Yeah,
That? Yeah,
Yeah.
Hanwha and I can do that.
yeah, because it hasn't happened in the past, right? I mean, last
Well, it
2 years.
used to happen a long time ago.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think you probably have to have Kelly Sosick help you also with like the overlay and stuff, because that all goes into the model, right?
So you're talking about the
Talking about
model
your
that we're
model.
going to talk about.
yeah, basically, yeah. So we're starting on our sort of first draft straw man model, but I mean, I think the detailed model, ideally, I'd rather it not be me doing that, because it's, I'm not an expert, basically. I mean, and I'd like, the professionals to be doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to sort of look at it and have a, compare my model against your model and make sure we're all on the same page, but I'd like the town to be initiating that model, actually.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Send the two of us the most recent version of your model.
Yeah, sure.
So that'd be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, comments on it?
So just along that though, I mean, we're relying on that model to have our discussion with the schools. So we're going to have a version control issue a little bit here?
Well, we're doing a straw man model here of our own to have that discussion, right?
Right.
That's not I don't think the official budget model we're actually going to end up with when we're making decisions about the final budget coming up towards town meeting. I'm hoping we can transition over to a more official, formal model.
I understand that. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking from again, version control perspective.
Right.
The experts are going to probably make changes to the model. We'll need to know exactly what they are when we communicate back to the school committee, saying, oh, by the way, the numbers have changed. We're going to need to know that.
Numbers are going to change anyway, right? I mean, over time.
Understood, but
Yeah.
But we need to understand what that number is. That said, the way it used to be done is that Jennifer controlled the model, and the budget would come to our meetings. Jennifer was the old accountant, and would come to our meetings, and,
Prior accountant, she probably wouldn't like to be called old.
I'm sorry, prior accountant. She is not old. She's far younger than I am. Anyway, so then she would come to the meetings and review the budget and the model. And would she update it
Yeah.
in real time as you guys were
Yeah.
having discussions?
Yeah, she'd update in real time, or she'd go back and fix something or whatever,
Yeah,
because, you know, I just came from personnel, and they're not gonna have the COLA number probably until December, beginning of January. So, like, they've put a bogey in there, but it's like, you know, that may change, so.
So, I mean, it worked in the past, we just have to get back to that.
I think we just have to know we have a good finance team. I think that's the thing, is if we have confidence in the finance team, it should work just fine. It's when you don't have confidence in your team, that's the problem.
And we have confidence in the team.
Yeah, we do have confidence.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have confidence in the
I was
team.
waiting
Now-
for her to follow up
now
on
we-
that.
Now we have confidence in the team.
And I do have the same concern with the version control. And, you know, if someone's going to a school committee meeting and there's changing in your, you know, the model that you're comparing against, we would just have to have very clear communication. And we'd want to, just like with the warrant, the version control on the warrant going to town meeting is Kelly Price is the only one that touches that. And I make pencil changes because I don't want to mess with her model. It would be the same thing here. And I would think it would either be Hung Hwa or myself who's going to be the only one making changes to the official version of the model. And any discussions during these meetings or anything else, you would want to just make sure you get that back to us so that you can rely on the model that we're working from.
Yeah, and that way you won't have broken links. I mean, the whole reason that Excel spreadsheet got so messed up is because when I had to do it before, when we didn't have anybody, I used Jennifer's old one, and I had to watch videos on how to do Excel because I did not know. But, you know, links got broken and it became just a mess. So it's good to have control with the people who are paid, not with volunteers.
Just need to work through it,
No.
make sure we're all on the same page.
On the same sort of topic, Mike, we should talk about the CPA funding issue as well, in when we're talking about finances and.
Sure. So I had spoken with Tony last week, and I wanted to just bring the committee up to date that tomorrow night and then the following night, I'm going to be appearing at the select board meeting, you know, Wednesday night, and then CPC Thursday night. So there has been concern for a number of years, and I think it started after Jennifer left, that some of the CPC tracking was not accurate. Not the amount of money, but where the money was in the different buckets. And I had spoken to Dennis about it as well, because there's going to be an article that goes to special town meeting to make a correction of about $71,000 where money was just put in the wrong bucket. And when I mentioned it to Dennis, he said, good, this has been a long time coming. He was involved in CPC, I guess, at one point, and he said, we knew that it wasn't accurate back then. And one of the forms that CPC has to put into the state each year says, estimate the amount of whatever it is. I forget what the category, other or
Unreserved.
unreserved.
See unreserved.
Yeah, and so that's what they've done, and they've done a good job of it. But you know, I think that CPC and the accountant, through a number of accountants, were not on the same page, so things got out of alignment. So, anyways, I spoke with, well, let me back up. Our representative to the Department of Local Services, DOR, has told Hung Hwa that we needed to take this correction back to town meeting, to a special town meeting, before they would set our tax rate. Well, we set our tax rate this month, and so Hung Hwa had a number of conversations and meetings with her representative, and then took it up a step to the supervisor. And then I actually reached out to DLS, to the person in charge. I said, this doesn't work for us. I said, we have a special town meeting scheduled for February, and I actually had an hour-long Zoom meeting with the director of accounts and the deputy director of accounts, and then the supervisor to our representative. So 4 accountants and one guy who doesn't understand anything about accounting. We had this meeting, And we ended up getting our way, and so we don't have to go to special town meeting, which is a good thing. But what we have to do is send a letter to the Director of Accounts signed by the majority of the Select Board and the majority of CPC, saying that they will move this article to special town meeting to make this correction and move the $71,000 from the budgeted reserve bucket, which was voted at annual town meeting, over to other or unreserved, whatever it is. And so Kristen knows this is coming tomorrow night. John Fallon, who's now the chair of CPC, has scheduled a meeting for Thursday night, and we're going to go there and make sure that everybody understands what that's about. I don't understand the details of it, just that we have to take this action to not have to add another special town
But
meeting.
we didn't lose money.
Correct.
We're not losing, we're not decreasing the CPC.
We didn't lose any money, correct. We're not losing projects or money or anything like that, but there's a technicality where it just has to be put into the right bucket. And when I explained it to Dennis, he knew exactly what this was about. He says, this is kind of like a Scrivener's error. It's just got to be corrected. And as long as they have this letter of assurance that we're going to make this correction, they were okay to set our tax rate. So there's nothing you have to do as vote for us voting or anything like that, but I just wanted to make you aware that that's what this is about.
Okay, I have to state this. Are we comfortable that all the other numbers, all the other accounts, the free cash, are we comfortable with all of that? Like, if this popped up, and this has been a concern for CPC year after year after year for the last 4 years or so, or 3 years or so, that I've heard the chairs of the CPC saying, we have no idea what we have in our funds. We're trying to figure it out, and they didn't get a whole lot of help from the accountant. So all I'm trying to understand is, like, are you really comfortable? Because we keep getting these really big free cash numbers that we're all kind of surprised with, including you. We're all kind of surprised with these numbers. Just hate to spend money that we may or may not have. So, I mean, this is one of those things that pops up, and is that a red flag for other stuff?
So comfortable, I guess, is probably a relative term, especially for somebody who doesn't even understand anything under the umbrella of CPC. But yes, after talking this over with Hung Hwa and our representatives at DLS, I'm comfortable with that issue. With free cash, we have found that there was, I think the free cash is off by $100,000. I think it's $100,000 less than the 3 point whatever we saw. But otherwise, it's been scrutinized pretty well.
Are we getting it
And,
recertified?
I don't believe we need to get it recertified, no.
We just can have too much money, like we can just inflate our bank account? I don't understand how that works. If it's too much money. I mean, that'd be like if you said, oh, I've got an extra $1,000 in my checking account. It's not really there, but I'm gonna leave it there so it looks good. Like, then your wife spends it, then what are you doing? You're screwed.
Because
So
I
like,
think-
what
But
happens
it's
if
not
you
all
spend
real
it?
cash, I think is the problem we have with free cash.
Yeah.
It's not all real cash.
So Hung Hwa has had a conversation with DLS about this and made them aware. So it's not a matter of missing money, but there was money voted at town meeting that wasn't added in. Is that a correct characterization?
It's the transfer that she did in the journal entries in Radar is from prior year. And it's not reflected in the gateway, the balance sheet. That's
The
what it is.
$50,000 for OPEB.
50 and then another 50, total 100.
Yep, okay, so I understand that. The only thing is, I think, don't they base free cash calculation on, here's this year's free cash, so this year's free cash is, here's last year's free cash, add, subtract, blah, 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 and here's this year's free cash. So if we have a $100,000 problem, do we have a $100,000 problem as we drag it forward? If they don't recertify it for the lesser amount?
She didn't mention anything about affecting going forward. She
It's
said
got to be
as-
readjusted at some point, right? I mean, if there's an error in there, they've got
Yeah,
to.
it's driving our numbers.
Yeah.
So I would just, because that sheet, that form,
Yeah.
I think it starts with last year's free
Sure,
cash
yeah,
number.
yeah.
So if FY '24's free cash is not correct by $100,000, and I totally get why They knew those journal entries were gonna come back and haunt us, but whatever.
Can you
Um,
explain that a little bit?
Yeah, hold on one second. Yeah, I
Okay.
will. Well, no, I can't, because it was an accounting thing. I can talk to it for a second. But if FY '24, 6/30 FY '24 is off by $100,000, and they start the worksheet in FY '25 with the FY '24 free cash
Gonna
number,
propagate it.
all we're gonna do is carry it forward. So, because I think, but I'm not 100% sure on that form. I think we have to look at that, because we can't carry the $100,000 forever.
So my understanding is that DLS is aware, and I would say it's either got to be corrected now or corrected when we recertify next year. But either way, in my mind, it's $100,000 off.
Yeah.
We have made them aware, they're aware, and I would think that we don't spend that $100,000 and they make that correction when they recertify us next year.
Okay, so
That's
free-
what I think
Free
happens.
cash is 100,000 less than we thought.
Yeah, so we've got to make a note of that somewhere ourselves so that we don't spend the money that we haven't got, basically.
So I don't really understand the why of it, because I'd never seen this before, but we got 1 month's report soon after the close of FY '23, so into FY '24, so July '24. What year are we in?
24.
24. July '23, which would have been FY '24, right? We got a report, and there was this $50,000, because one of the things I did as chair is I would go through, and Tony actually had it on the dashboard, all of the articles, to make sure that all of those articles that should have been put into the budget were put into the budget. And I was off the 50,000 because there was an OPIP transaction that was a journal entry. That was a correction from the year before. So you see the pattern? So it was a correction from the year before, and she put it in as a journal entry, and I thought to myself, you can't really do that, because you need to have, I didn't see the offset for the journal entry. So even in QuickBooks, when I do a journal entry, I do this journal entry, and there needs to be an offset. I need to take it out of X, and I have to put it into Y, and there was no offset. And so I didn't see that. And then there was a couple other journal entries. So I didn't understand, because I'd never seen that on any of the books.
Okay.
And again, it's how the accountant did it, and it didn't make any sense to me then, but now I'm not surprised that it's affected our free cash.
Fortunately, Hunghwa spotted it, saw it, knew it was something that needed to be, corrected, and contacted, DLS to make sure that they're aware.
Right, so we just need to make sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on that topic?
Yikes.
Okay, so moving on to the FY26 budget. So let me bring up the model.
Kashava has joined our meeting.
Oh,
Shoot, do we know what time he came in?
We do.
Oh, we do? Of course we do. Thanks, Gary.
We joined at 7:27.
Okay. So now
So-
you do need to do roll call vote
okay, so,
after, if we take another vote. We don't need to do roll call. You can just make note in the minutes, which we've done.
okay. Okay, just share this document, sorry. Okay, so just to remind everybody, what we've been asked to do by the school committee is give some guidance about what we can sustain in the FY26 budget based on where we stand as a town with our budget. So this is a model that we put together last week, a few tweaks since last time we did this. So what I've actually done on this summary sheet is actually gone through just to sort of check the model. We're looking at what is FY24, how is FY24 compared to FY25, and actually it should be FY26. There's a typo there. It should be 26 and 25.
Right. It should say FY '25 comparison.
Yeah, it should be
FY26
Yeah. So over there. But basically, when we do the summary roll up as we stand right now, is that we are on our calculations just under the maximum allowable levy based on what we have in here as inputs. But of course, all these inputs are just straw man inputs that we put together. And this is based on, right now, that's based on a 6% Acton Boxborough assessment increase and a 5% town budget increase. And we have some, and on the right here I've got these are the numbers that we think are the adjustment factors from the school budget to the assessment budget
Yeah.
based on increase in enrollment. So
Right, just for my edification, so if the overall budget for the school is up 2%, that's a 6% increase for us.
exactly,
correct?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So the 2% was the lowest they gave us, correct?
correct, yeah,
They gave us a range of 2 to 3.
1.97.
yeah.
So, so I read, I think in the minutes, John, did you watch the last school committee meeting when they
I did.
voted? And did I read that they voted like a guideline of up to 3% on the operating budget?
I saw a range of 2 to 3%.
2
what I
to 3?
remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think Liz spoke, I must have read it in the minutes for their package that just came out. Liz spoke and said something about Boxborough is very focused on a fire station.
Correct. Yep.
And so they're looking at 2 to 3%, so 3% is 7.28.
Mhm. For us, yep.
Yeah. And I'm way more comfortable with 6,
Yeah, me too.
but,
Because 6% keeps us from needing an override according to Tony's book.
Exactly.
Thing here, right? And I don't think this is the year to go for an over. I really don't think it's the year to go for an
no,
override.
that said.
So let me, so when the school votes the union, that contract is up next year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we know how that typically impacts? I mean, I'm assuming it doesn't go down. Do we have any idea what?
No, they'll give them everything, 'cause that's
Well-
what they do.
Well, Becky,
Becky,
so, the
on
real-
this, with a modicum of,
so I will say that there were a lot of tight years on the budget, right? And so when I sat in the negotiation, we would look at a 3-year package for the teachers. So it wasn't, the compensation was always over 3 years. And there were a lot of years when I was on school committee that we did, 2, 2.5, 3 kind of. The last contract was fairly rich. And it was supposed, and I wasn't on the committee, but it was supposedly market. The problem that I see is that all of these teachers' unions across the state have they don't care that they're getting fined tens of thousands of dollars a day by going on strike. So now we have Gloucester, Marblehead,
Beverly.
and Beverly on strike, right? And however those contract lands, because this is what happened to Needham, North Andover went on strike. They got rich contracts, and then Needham went on strike for one day, and they settled an extremely rich contract. So I think that all bets are off on what's going to come in. We can certainly. It really depends, and these North Shore unions have already been on strike for 3 days, and that's I think $30,000 a day.
But here's the thing, I mean, I don't know if those contracts have supermax in them. We have supermax, which is like the perpetual step. Like our unions and our personnel plan, you get to like step 14, and then all you get is the COLA, right? They've got something that just keeps on giving. Like it's just more and more money. It's like 2.5% on top of the COLA every year for however long you're there. It's not like after 14 years, okay, you get the COLA, but you don't get the continued step.
right. And so being in Boxborough, it seems like we have somewhat lesser influence than Acton over the school system because of size. So with the teachers' contracts, I would feel that's even more so. How does that negotiation work? And I'm sorry for deviating a little bit
Yep.
here, but I think it's
So
kind of a big ticket item.
it
So.
typically used to be, and I think it still remains, 1 Boxborough member, 2. There's a 3-member committee, and it used to be 1 Boxborough, 2 Acton. And and this is, I mentioned this to Mike, because, Mike, were you here last time they settled the contract?
Probably not. He hasn't been-
The school's contract?
No.
Okay. So, we are supposed to have representation outside of the school members, school committee members, in their executive sessions to give input. Selena used to just say, well, we'll just have, what's his name, the town manager in Acton, represent us, and never came. And then when Ryan was here, Ryan said, nope, I'm gonna come to these meetings. He was never informed, and the only meeting he was informed of was the contract ratification meeting, and he's like, well, I'm not going to that because I'm not ratifying a contract I didn't know. So we're supposed to, and I would hope that the select board will not just push off and say, well, instead of Mike being in touch with the school committee in executive sessions, or Rajon, whoever the designee is, we're gonna put it off to Maggiore and let him, he's the town manager at Acton, let him be our representation, because we don't want that. We need somebody at the table, and I think that so as they go into negotiations, I was gonna say something, and I think Gary has said stuff in the past about it. That's our only representation. It doesn't, that and them just, saying to our school committee members, we can only afford so much. You cannot do a contract that is 10% over 3 years. That's a lot of money. Because it's not just, that's just the COLA.
Because that's the whole thing, is, they can give a big increase, but if we can't afford it, and we don't put that kind of, and if an override fails in either town, then they'll have to lay teachers off to do it. So,
Okay.
And the contract is, I would say to you, take a look at it, because it's not just what's your COLA, right? It's what's a COLA, what's your professional development, education stipend, or whatever. All the different stipends, they negotiate all of those. So all of a sudden, a position they want to create a position, a stipend position for X. So that's part of the negotiation. So that's why it's a total compensation. That's how we used to look at it. Total compensation over 3 years, including the COLA. So does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes, thank you, sorry.
and including lanes, because that's one thing we don't have in the town politics. But if you go with a master's, you get a certain thing. If you get a master's plus 15 towards your doctor, you get a lane plus a step plus COLA. So, some of them have, and good, we have an educated workforce, but, some of these people are never going to go any farther in terms of administration, and they're working towards a PhD to teach, PE, because that was what it was when I was here. And I sat down across from a PE instructor who had a PhD and had been here forever. And when I was on the school committee, it was I don't even know, 20 years ago, when he was making $101,000 or something crazy. So, but it's a way to, get more money. So.
Okay. So
So in any
where does that
event,
leave us? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You-
well,
you guys-
No,
well,
it's,
but that's not part of this financial year.
That's
correct.
next year.
Understood, but
so we have a
It's
model.
next.
So we could go through again each of the tabs that feed into that to see that we are roughly, that the model makes sense for us in terms of what's in there. One thing we could look at is capital spending, because
Yeah.
I know you had a meeting tonight about that, so I don't know whether any of these numbers here changed. Last time we were here, we went through an updated, we took a pencil and sort of made big updates to some of these numbers here and to have new numbers. I don't know where that lies now in terms of the capital meeting. Maybe you can, John, enlighten us.
yeah, so first off, the baseline number, Gary, what did we end up with, Mike? The total number?
So the current total number right now, with everything in there, is 4.478 million. That includes at least 4 items that would be bonded if they happen, which is the land purchase, fire truck, paving, and the library renovation. So if I extract those 4 bonded items out, that leaves our current number at 3.028 million.
3.0.
3.02, of which 1.5 million is still the land. That's still in there.
But you've changed recreation, right? Because we still got recreation in our model. of
Recreation
5%.
is down to $50,000.
Yeah, okay.
I talked to the planning, Alec, our planner, after the election on the way out. There's no way we're going to do the building next year. We have to do permitting, design, et cetera. So there's 50,000 in there for work to be done. It'd be at least a year to 2 years, if it happens, to do the actual
They didn't come
construction.
back with a final application for CPC for the 50,000, and they should, because 500, CPC couldn't have funded, but 50,000 they could. And I know that John asked Rafi to reach out to Matt Sperling, who's the chair
Yep.
of Recreation, to see if they want to put in a final application. Because final applications were due, but it's kind of like it's sort of like the select board with the warrant, right? I mean, we could still do it if we
Right.
needed to.
So if you exclude the land, exclude the
Exclude the 1.5 land. for
1.5
fire.
for the land, then you're down about 1.5 million right now. Again, excluding things that we know will be bonded,
Okay.
which is library renovation, SCBA, fire truck, and paving.
So 1.5 million, we could just pay for that out of free cash because we have so much free cash, assuming you trust the number.
And by the way, Mike will tell you, the capital from the department heads is not due in until December 2nd.
Right.
So we have estimates in here. We don't know, except for Ed Kukula, we really don't have any actual real updated numbers yet, or requests.
And what about taking out this scuba?
That SCBA, I did take that out.
Okay.
That's
So-
the air compressor to fill the tanks.
So that's really the case. It's a 1.5 million that hits the budget. That brings our levy down to much lower, much more manageable number actually.
That'd be
Much
lovely,
more.
because we're going to
If
have to,
that's
at
really-
some point,
if
we're going to
that's-
be looking at override for the fire station.
But for operations,
Yeah.
if that's for real, and we take 1.5 and it's bonding, and then we don't know about.
excluding bonding.
Yeah. So there's other stuff which is bonded, but it's not going to hit our
Right,
budget for the year, right?
right, well, just debt service will.
Debt service. So we should take say 5% of
Yeah.
that for debt
So we have to
service.
figure out
So
the
to be,
debt service.
clear,
And the fire station, the fire engine won't, because we're gonna vote that, but that's 2 to 3 years out.
yes.
Yeah.
But I just made a, judgment on what things would be bonded.
Yeah.
Anything that was like 150,000 and over, I said would be, like the library renovation, paving's 300,000, SCBA was 300,000, and the fire truck was 850. So those, I was pretty comfortable saying would be bonded, so I pulled those out.
Right.
And then-
I left the land in at 1.5, that's where the 3.028 came in.
Right. And
Pull
then
the
if you
land
take
out.
that out.
When you take the land out, then it's about 1.5.
5. So, and I still think that the land, if we end up on Stowe Road, which we're working through, right, as a committee, I still think that land, because it's going from from a town entity to the town, we can still start doing stuff and then roll that into the full bonding, right, Mike?
Yes, but that's assuming that it's that property. We have
That's what I'm
two
saying,
others.
if it's that property.
So, but I think if it ends up being the 700 Mass Ave, that's 1.5 million, and I think we got to assume that we may be buying that property. Maybe we won't, but I don't think we
But
want
we
to
put
leave
that on the
ourselves.
back burner for now. 700 Mass Ave.
Right,
Sort of
but
said,
but
let's
that
wait.
doesn't mean it's out of contention as one of
No.
the 3 viable sites. It's just that we've stopped, studying on it right now. I just wouldn't want to leave ourselves short. If it ends up being 502 Mass Ave, we know we've got to fund, design and construction of a temporary station for 18 months. If it's 700 Mass Ave, we know it's 1.5 million, or unless it can be negotiated lower. And then, what you mentioned about Stowe
Well,
Road.
presumably you'll have this locked down by the middle of before Capital Saturday, right, when we actually have to
Yes.
vote all this?
That's the goal,
Okay.
right?
I mean, just like, I think doing any of this is really, I know the schools want a number, but given that Mike has only just now started talking to his department heads about budgets, it just seems so premature to me to I'm sorry
I
the
know,
schools
but
want a
But
number.
it also gives us some wiggle room, some out later
Yeah.
if we need to do that. Right?
No, I know
think-
that, I get that, but I just think in terms of we don't really have anything concrete yet for capital or operational, so I just,
But I think with capital, I think conservatively, you can say, okay, our capital's $3 million, right? Because we don't know about the 1.5 for the land. because we pulled the bonding out, we know that that's just gonna be
But
bonding, and
the
we know
land
that.
would- land would be bonded though, right?
It would be, but if, it depends, if it's Stowe Road, I think it can be bonded as the whole project,
Okay.
and we could, you know, we could have an agreement and we could do that. I think it would be bonded differently. I think if it's if it's 700 Mass Ave, we have to buy that property, so we'd have to bond that separately before we could break land on it.
So are
break
you
ground on
saying
it.
for capital items here, rather than drawing in 1.5 million as that number, make that number 3 million?
Be more comfortable
I
if
think
you
so.
kept the
'cause
3
then
million.
That's
That's
a
more
much more
conservative.
conservative look
Yeah,
until the committee makes a decision, the select board, and
Yeah.
gives it to the select board.
okay, so I'm.
But I mean, still, that still
Back to that
puts
number.
us in a, but still under the levy, right?
It's under the levy by
800,000.
800,000.
Yeah.
But again. The total capital right now is around 4.5 million.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So make sure everyone understands that.
Right,
I've excluded
4.5
items that,
million, but you've got 1.4 out for bonding,
correct.
Yeah.
and of that 1.4, 800,000 for that fire truck
Wouldn't kid us for at least 2 years.
we wouldn't
Yeah.
even be carrying debt service for
Yeah,
2 years
right.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also don't know how long the SCBA compressor would take. I assume that's something we could get pretty quick.
Yeah.
If it's, again, if it's this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That one still needs to be reviewed with the fire chief.
so, I mean, I think
Okay.
that's good.
Okay. So working right to left, which is what I know John likes to do.
So our free
The
cash
free
changes.
cash is 100,000 less than we thought it was. We
Yeah.
thought we had 1.74 million. It's 1.64 million. Probably
Available,
available.
Oh, okay,
yes.
yes,
Yeah, but
So
available.
It's
keeping
3.1.
our guideline of
yeah,
the
keeping
amount
5%.
of free cash
yeah.
we have locked away. So for now, I'll leave that as it is, I think. Revenues, we've been doing some work on revenues, right? But John, did you come in more luck with that?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I couldn't, I looked at Hunlaw's data and I couldn't figure out why, where the growth came from 24.
No, I couldn't either.
Um,
And also the numbers don't coincide with what's on the dashboard either.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't match to what
Yeah.
we were using for last year,
Yeah.
so.
So we need some more work on that, I think.
So Hunlaw, so our numbers, when we looked at that spreadsheet that you sent us, and I tried to subtract, like in the first version, everything was subtracted out and it was 2.6, I think, or 2.5 actually, right there,
Yeah.
right? So, and then we were kind of wondering, where did this extra, what was it, $800,000 come
Yeah.
from, I think? So when I ran the number for 23 to try to create that delta, it was way off. And I subtracted out all of the entities that you asked me to subtract out.
Yeah.
Still couldn't do that. So, again, we're kind of worried about our
Numbers,
Num-
period. It's just the numbers in general.
right. So,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to make work, but this is a number that does go directly into the model if I'm standing mechanics,
Yeah.
right? So, is there any way you can recreate those two numbers that we got originally, just so that, because one of them has to be wrong, because it's not matching up in any way.
Are you talking about FY 24 or 23, the one that I sent it to you?
We're matching 23 to 24, correct? Yes, because
Yeah.
it's fiscal year 25 right now, so it would be 23 to 24.
Okay, so when you asked for the 23, I just like exported out. I didn't
Exactly.
even take it out, the other stuff that
But I
added.
tried to take out all of the stuff, and
Yeah,
it still didn't.
it doesn't come
Yeah.
to the total? Okay.
So, what number are we trying to match to? So it should be total receipts, right? Is that the one where we were like, where did this?
Well, state aid doesn't
No,
change
not
much,
state
which
aid.
makes
You want
sense.
local
It's the
Local
receipt.
local receipts,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Because state aid is state aid. That's
no,
like-
but that wasn't,
Except, hold on.
no, that wasn't a big enough delta for us to be.
What's the difference between total receipts?
There was some other place where we presented the numbers where, yeah, I honestly thought it was the 2.5.
But
to be
under
honest with you.
but under revenues, John, shouldn't it be, like, they should total, right? So whatever you have for state aid and local receipts should be your total receipts.
Correct,
But
and they
for
don't.
FY '24,
It doesn't.
it's
Yeah.
so off.
Wait, didn't you come up with total for FY 24?
Where'd you get $2,506,238?
Right, so that's kind of,
Oh.
that's the jump that gave us a problem, I think, last week. We were like, where is this extra $1 million coming from?
Okay, so for
Actually, they don't have
FY
the
24,
other.
for the FY 24, right, when I send you that report, so there's like debits and credits and then ending balance. I noticed on your report, the one that you have the total, I think was 2.6 something, right?
Right, so originally that was just the credits.
Right.
You should be doing total net, correct?
Yes, so the ending is the way we're getting the 2.4 for the FY '24, because there's a debits, there's like adjustments and stuff there. It's like 118,000, so the difference of that, it come up to the 2.4 for the local receipts, and that matches what you guys had asked me to run the report. That's what that report is.
Okay, so when we're looking at the data here, for example, in cell D10, is
D10.
that, which is total receipts for budget fiscal year '24?
Oh,
The
okay.
2506 up there on the board?
Yeah, let me see.
And there's something wrong here because these two numbers don't add up to
Yeah, it's
correctly.
500,000 short.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's happened.
So is
Let me
that
see.
so, yeah.
net, is that credits plus debits, or is that just credits?
So let me see, 216. So for the local receipts for FY '24, it's 1.5, 1575 for the budget. And then, what do you have there?
1.6.
So what is, what's the difference? 1,653, 500. I just want to see what's the difference. So it's $78,000 difference. I don't know where that 1.6 coming from. The budget.
I think that came from the dashboard. I think that I put it in there. So maybe that's wrong.
What is that noise?
I don't know.
So we still don't know what the difference, what the increase last year was then in local receipts. That's the challenge, right?
Right, and is that in your dashboard anywhere? I don't know.
It's in the it's in the dashboard. Yeah, we have a dashboard for 24.
Get some noise on the mic channel. I think you might have a transmitter or receiver on with the mic off and the channel up, maybe.
Push on the left, by the way.
No, I see it.
No, Java's still here.
So, I don't think this is the original source of our confusion. That's part of the problem.
Okay.
I think it might be on your dashboard.
Right.
So I don't want to hold this up any further. And what I would, if we want to sleuth this, I would send those numbers to Hunghwa.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, can I access the dashboard just to say
Sure.
some homework?
I can send you the
turn off
dashboard.
my-
Yeah.
Off
Okay.
and then on.
Not mine.
It doesn't help when we turn them all off. Then you have to. I'm a sound guy, he says.
Wow.
That doesn't help.
Saying that, we might pull this tomorrow night's meeting too.
Lock that door.
Okay, so
Okay, so where do we,
we'll
where
work
where
we'll work
with this?
offline on
Yeah,
that because
we'll
I
get-
don't think.
So we're
Okay,
off by
but we've already changed that by
78,000.
500,000,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
1.6 coming from.
Yes. So this column D is incorrect.
Yeah.
Tony,
yeah.
just so
yeah,
you're aware.
Yeah.
But by 78,000.
No, we don't.
We don't
We don't
know what numbers are.
Okay.
We need to figure that out. But
There you go, whatever you just did worked.
we do know what FY25 is. That's correct. So that's what we're basing 26 on. Is basically a similar number to 25.
Okay.
So I don't think it really affects our model materially.
Do we suppose the
Exactly,
FY24 is
and
the
I think that's-
actuals?
This is what was driving this, because we didn't see consistency, we were
Yeah.
uncertain. We were automatically going back to the
Yeah.
1.7 number.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, local receipts is a guess every year, right? Because you don't know, like, if something comes in. So could that be not what we budgeted, could that be actuals, local receipts from FY24? Because we obviously don't have actual FY25 numbers yet. Because, or maybe we do, but it would seem, no, we wouldn't,
No,
we're
we
in FY25. But maybe that's actual
I'd have to go back
FY24
and look
local
at the dashboard to
receipts.
see where I drew those from. I can't remember. Okay. Then other costs we just took across basically the same numbers, because the budget for 25 is the same as the budget for 24, I think now. And then operating budget, we're making this assumption of 6% for the school and 5% for the town.
But we don't know if 5% is for real for the town, right?
No.
We don't know if 6% is real for the school either.
Well, I understand,
real.
but that's a
It's
bogey
real.
for them, right?
Yeah.
And they're somewhere between
It's real.
2 and 3, so,
Okay.
I mean, that's a minimum.
Because I'm thinking even Acton probably can't handle more than like a 3% increase,
Yeah.
even with the
But
excess
the
capacity
guideline that they
had.
gave, they voted last week was, they capped it at 3%. So they're not looking to go higher than that for their
Okay.
operational budget, so we know that.
So what are we going to say to the school committee?
Hold on one sec before we go there. So with regard to the town side, I mean, the town was 2.5% last year, correct?
Yes.
Less than that.
It was less than that, it was
Yeah.
0.23%.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so, which was amazing.
But that was because we
Yes,
took
yeah.
a $500,000
Moved Evans, yeah.
Doesn't,
dispatch. No, I understand, but like it was, it's not like
Doesn't
Mike's gonna
matter.
be able to pull out another department and ship it out again this year.
But
that was not my implication, I'm just saying.
But also last year we were
What?
Two more employees this year.
Oh,
also $1.5 million underspent last year in the budget.
Understood. So you're saying, okay, so this curve is gonna come back the other way, let's,
No, not necessarily. I mean, no, if we underspent last year, that
Okay.
to me is a sign that we don't need to budget quite so highly.
right,
Hey, Mike, do we have unpaid bills? Do we have unpaid bills that we're bringing forward to special town meeting?
We do, on the order of.
Ballpark?
$4,000.
Just 4,000, okay.
okay.
that's amazing.
So that is
Good
just
job.
a number, it's not built up on any, I know this is just asked, but no way is it built up by any of Mike's predetermined
6,000, sorry.
budgeting
No, it's nothing.
Okay,
It's
okay.
just a guess.
driven, okay.
The 5%'s a guess.
Yeah.
It's a,
But, I mean, realistically, I don't think the town budget's been 5%
Not for a long time.
for the last couple of years, even before the dispatch, the year before that. But it just, there's not much more to cut.
Yeah, we're
Right.
pretty bare bones. I mean, I don't think we should be looking to add anything, but
But I do think there's $500,000. We had the same problem the year before, so we do need to look at what wasn't spent and why wasn't it spent. Did we over budget it? Did they underestimate it? How did we get there? Right?
I mean, some of it's stuff we don't have any control over, right? Like, we don't have a lot of control over insurance. They just send us, like, this is how much we're charging you, this is how many employees you've got. And then there's like debt, right? Like, we have some stuff, and this is, like a small department, like, say, cemetery commission, doesn't have a lot of money, and even if they didn't spend it, it's like, a couple $100. So, I mean, we should look at every line, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. But
Yep.
that being said, it's gonna be hard to find a lot of,
okay, so do these numbers bring us to what relative to the levy limit?
Bring us to, sorry.
Within what, is that
Eight.
So our levy limit is
3%?
29 million,
Yeah,
29.1?
yeah.
so like, within 800, within,
And that will be adjusted once we get our electoral levy this year and stuff. That's going to be adjusted. This is today's estimate of the maximum
Okay.
levy.
And can you just go back to, sorry to make you jump all over the place, but
Yeah.
how much of it, to the average taxpayer in Boxborough, what jump is that?
Well, I actually can't do that.
13 to, oh, so it's,
So this is, well, yeah, we can do it. Yeah. 15.2. This is saying.
right, so the tax bill is going to go from 13K to 14K.
Yeah, $1,000.
Yeah.
and that's without an override.
Seems awfully high.
That's a good chunk of change.
Seems awfully high, like, how did we get there?
I don't understand how we got $1,000 when we went from last year to this year with, like, just, what, 200?
Less than $1,000.
Less than $1,000, and we had that huge increase in the schools. So I don't understand how we got such a big like,
Well,
jump.
these are all still, all this in yellow is still estimates, right? So
Right, no,
I
yeah,
know,
right,
but-
okay, yeah.
So there's going to be some adjustment there probably.
Well, and I mean, the assessed value goes up, your tax rate might go down,
Assessment
right?
goes
So
up,
it's,
yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy, the average value is $940, given that a lot of those are condos,
Well, that's an estimate. That's a 5% increase, basically.
okay?
It just factors in a 5%
Yeah,
growth.
okay.
So that may be wrong.
All right,
Right, but the condos, majority of the condos that have sold are $1 million.
well,
'cause they're all
that's the
in
enclave, but I mean, I'm thinking of all the ones like over on Swanson.
Right, but if you think about 3 enclave condos at $1 million and 1 Swanson Road one at 200,000, that's how you're getting up to the $1 million, right?
Yeah.
I think that just, and because they're now done, so we won't see that kind of market, right? Because they're now full. I think they were looking for the last occupancy permit. So they're now all full. So you're not going to continue to see that kind of $1 million market. 50 condos at $1 million over 2 years is a lot.
But what I would say is we've got 2 years of estimates here based on an arbitrary number. So obviously that's potential error spreads the further out you go. So this is only an estimate at this stage, and it's an estimate on an estimate. So don't take too much
Okay.
credence to this, I would say.
But, yeah, but one number that is stable is the number of households. Can't we just do it that way? Well, how would that be different?
Well, the valuation of the houses would be different, wouldn't it?
So that's the average valuation.
That's, yeah, but do you understand what I'm trying to do?
If you multiply the amount of
Yeah, but I'm
houses by
thinking
the
Kelly
average.
Sosek should be able to tell
But
you what
that's
the
not,
average
but
value.
that's not, because half of our housing stock is condos.
Yep,
And the majority of those are over on Swanson Road, Codman Road, and those are, maybe $250,000. So that doesn't work. You can't just multiply and come up with a number.
but I mean, you set the, you haven't set the tax rate yet, right, Mike?
No, they did.
You did, you set the tax rate. No, you didn't.
They did the,
Single tax.
classification.
the tax
classification,
but they haven't set the tax.
So, but I mean, Kelly should probably at this point know, like, what the town's valuation is, right? She must have like already put that all
Yeah.
in and
But
stuff.
but this number is off of Kelly's report that she gave to the select board?
The yellow numbers are just extrapolations from the green numbers, basically. So I haven't
So-
plugged in her numbers in.
Right, so she did a PowerPoint presentation,
Yeah.
which then got sent to DOR. We should be able to use those numbers, unless DOR comes back and says, no, you're way off. I mean,
No, you could
Yeah.
use them. She knows what she's doing.
yeah, so
I would have favored her
so
numbers.
whatever her PowPoint was,
Yeah.
That we looked at.
I'll go back and look at the PowerPoint and.
but I think this might be those numbers. 13,266, that might
It
be,
might be, yeah.
those might be the numbers,
Yeah.
so, but just, we'll look at that PowerPoint. Because those numbers you should be able to get off of whatever she sent to DOR.
Yeah.
I don't know, just,
Maybe I did put them in there. Maybe they are the numbers actually.
I think I
Yeah.
have them listed. I think
When
I-
you have a brief second, I can give you an update on what DLS said as far as the free cash number.
Oh, good.
So, okay.
Do you want to hear it? Let's hear about the free cash number. Mike said he's got something.
Right here, okay, so we can do that, hold on a second. I took notes, so, 1481 is the tax rate
Okay,
she's
so I did-
setting for FY
I
'20.
did put it in then. I did put it in.
26,290,000 is the levy.
Yeah.
Yep, and then the
Okay.
average sale, 895, yeah, so you do have real numbers in
Okay,
there.
okay,
Based
great.
on what Kelly sent to DOR,
Okay,
so
so
they
I-
could
okay.
bounce it back, but probably will
So I'm
not.
more efficient than I thought I was.
You are,
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say 1421 or 1481?
1481.
1481.
Thank you.
That's right now, that's the tax, that's what we sent to the DOR. It hasn't been certified by them yet. So it's a draft of what's going to be
Yeah,
certified.
so it's not
Yeah.
quite green. It's sort of a green shade.
Greenish, but close enough, like we know we're dealing with real numbers
Put
here.
that
So,
shade. Yeah.
Perfect, good. Nice different color.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, what were you saying about?
So this is the email that Hung Hwa got back from her representative at DLS. She said, as long as the votes were taken for FY24 and the entries were completed in FY24, which they were, then it appears the free cash certification is not affected. As for the recap, her name is Kim, will make a note on the checklist that the transfers were made, but just left off of the balance sheet checklist. So it does not affect the free cash number.
Not even next year.
So it doesn't affect the free cash number,
Correct.
except for the free cash number as certified is $100,000 less. That's not what that says. That says it does not
It
affect the
does not
free
affect
cash
it,
number.
yeah.
Correct.
Jesus Christ.
Put it back
This
in.
committee at the end of June.
We told them, Hung Hwa told them
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what was found, and she said that does not affect it's just an internal balance sheet number that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
we
So
like
we
to
do
keep
now have-
5%.
We have $1.7 million we can spend. We're back
Well,
up.
Yeah, but
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, we usually keep
Well, it hadn't changed anyway.
a bogey anyways, right? We
Right,
keep a certain
right.
amount in there, we just,
Don't need to subtract that 100K out.
Yeah, okay.
Tony, can you bring back the free cash page for 1 second? I didn't capture it. Okay, hold on 1 second, please.
Which is now correct,
Yeah.
ish.
In theory.
All set, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back to this then, which is, well, back to this, I think, really, which is
Yeah,
what
to talk
what
to.
should we say to the school committee?
I'm comfortable with 6%. I mean, I'm comfortable with 2% increase on their budget, so we have a 6%, because I really, I mean, unless you want to put in there and tell me that 2.5 keeps us out of override territory. But
I think we start at the 6%.
I think I'd start at 2% budget increase, and then we can see, let's see what that means for cuts and what the town comes in with and everything else. They asked for a starting point, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind, 3.5 is level funded. Right, level service. Well, he said level
No, not-
funded.
Yeah, level service was a lot more, I think.
Yeah, so it's level funded is 3.5.
Yeah, well,
3.5 would be, can be like 8%, isn't it? Something like
but we have less kids in the school district.
So it would, I mean, I'm okay with starting at 6% until we get more information from the town stuff.
Yeah.
And there's time to play with these numbers and, and hopefully, we have enough of a cushion at the 800,000
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
an
we got,
override.
well, there's a lot of caveats to it, aren't there? Because we don't know what the town budget is, we don't know
Yeah.
other things. So I mean, there may be some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
There may not be. I mean, we just don't know. So I mean, as a starting point, that's fine. What's the process here? Do I just drop an email to Adam and let him know that?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
That's what I would do.
Because they're not on tonight, so I would
Yeah.
do that. And I don't think we have to vote it. You can get a sense of the meeting. I think the sense of the meeting is that we all agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
given how much information we have.
Yeah.
I agree with Tony, your sentiment from last meeting that like we need to support our schools and not be too hardball, but I think starting at the number that everyone agrees with, I think
We'll
makes sense.
start here and we'll see where it goes.
There's a lot of
I mean,
sensitivity, so I
yeah.
think
I
it
mean,
does
there'll be,
make sense.
I'm sure there's going to be a back and forth on this.
Mhm.
Then that'll come down to the crunch of who's in favour of going up a bit, who doesn't want to go up a bit. And those sort of discussions. We'll have those here, I'm sure.
Yeah, sometime in January is when it
Yeah,
usually happens.
Yeah. And we'll know more then about where we are with the town budget and
Yeah,
other
In
things.
capital.
Yeah, and capital. Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, when the school says a level service versus a level funded, are those ever validated?
Is it ever validated, do we ever
Right.
validate the school's numbers?
Right,
No.
okay, so.
They present a lot of data, though, don't they? They do present a lot of good data.
They
yeah.
do present
No
data.
question.
The problem is it's very difficult because
It's kind of an amorphous thing.
it's difficult because Becky finds all of these positions that they add, and then you talk to them about it. They're like, we didn't add those positions. Okay, but it's in your. So it is. Even when I was on school committee, it's such an enormous budget that is very difficult to be able to confirm.
When you have Adam say, well, it's just $1 million. Well, just $1 million is a lot of money. I mean, and I know they don't think anything of like, they set up their own website, which is probably good. I mean,
very good.
but it's $7,000. They had no money last year. They were crying poor all last year. They hired this consultant, $150,000, although they said they had no money. So, they keep saying, we have no money, we have no money. $157,000 is like 2 or 3 teachers. So
Yeah, so it's
don't
hard.
tell us you have no money and then keep putting stuff in that shows up out of nowhere.
See, I think we could look at the town budget and we could validate the town budget. Because we're into all the nickels and dimes on the town budget, right?
No, I'm just mentioning this because it's kind of a negotiating point that they make quite frequently, that how much of it is really,
That was my
I don't want
problem
to
last
say
year with it.
true, but.
True.
Tony, can I share one comment? Kelly Sozik is watching the meeting.
Okay.
And she just wanted me to share that the 14.81 is an estimate, and the number is more like 15.41. I'm trying to find out exactly what that means. I was paying attention to my budget inputs and not what you were saying.
There's an estimate and then a new estimate, or the state is saying it's 15.41.
I'm not sure. I'm waiting
Okay.
for a response, but I just wanted to share that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So more,
Is it
more
more
to
money
come.
falling out of a tree, or is it the other?
No, it's more money, it's just more money to the taxpayers.
Oh.
Because if the assessment stays the same, if that average stays the same, and we go from 14, whatever it was, and the tax rate goes up to 15, whatever it is, then that's more money per thousand
Yeah.
for the taxpayer.
Okay, it's actually 15.14, and that's what Hunghwa is looking at also.
But
Okay.
doesn't that mean just which other value changed, the levy or the assessed value?
The tax rate.
The
changed.
tax rate changes.
No, I
So
understand
that's
that. The
replacing
tax
the
rate,
14.81 number
Yep.
here? Okay.
the tax rate is calculated by the total dollar value in relation to the assessed value, right?
The tax rate is calculated by the total need,
Mhm.
right? What we need,
The levy.
the levy, right?
Right.
What we need, and then,
So the levy hasn't changed. It's just that, isn't this, what I'm trying to get is, it's that 14.81 or 15,
Is
whatever.
is
It's a
derived-
resultant
it's
of
derived
this-
from this and this, yeah. yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
right? So
the assessed value must have changed.
so the assessed value changed. It's not really a change to the taxpayer.
No, because
Well,
your
it is,
assessed
'cause
value might go down, but your tax rate goes up. I mean,
It
The levy
depends,
is the same.
but it depends
The
on,
levy's the
we don't
same,
know that, right?
but the
We-
amount
I
per
don't
tax-
know,
Kelly Sosick, I'm sure, is texting Mike right now, so I'm watching him look and read his phone.
Average-
Here's what she says.
okay,
The town assessment will not change. That has been approved by DOR.
the assessed value will not change. Okay. So something's changed, because it went from 14.81 in her report to
Yes.
15-something, something's changed. But we can ask her to,
I'm confused, how was the,
Call me so I can put you on.
how was the
Or
tax
hop
rate-
on the meeting.
Oh, get on Zoom,
Kelly, you
yeah.
can hop on the
15 what?
meeting. We're on
15.75?
Zoom.
Yeah.
no, what was it, 15 what? 15?
4.
15.14. 15.14.
And to make sure we're talking about this year, right?
This year
Yeah, yeah.
is what we,
Oh,
I
excuse me,
thought we were
25.
talking about.
Yeah.
Tell her we'll be nice.
We are nice.
I'm not gonna lie to her.
Hey. Wow. Cut
so-
that down, man.
Very good.
So whatever this comes back at, though, are we comfortable, we're comfortable with the going into the school committee with 6%?
Yeah.
Knowing that, we may need to go back to department heads and things may change here and we'll have to look at every single item.
Yeah, there's lots of caveats on that, given where we are in the cycle, the budget
Yep.
cycle. We're just early.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm going to stop that. I'm going
Keep
to
that close because she might be,
Yeah, yeah.
we may go back to it.
Is she going to join us on Zoom? Well,
She lost her cell coverage.
She's trying to get into the meeting right now.
okay.
I don't see her popping up as in the waiting room.
Hello. I'm gonna put you on the microphone.
But can we hear her on the microphone?
Okay, you're speaking with Kelly.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Kelly.
Hi. Okay, so the tax classification, what that is the value of the town, and when I give an estimate, it's the numbers I have at the time. So on my classification hearing, I had given 26 million something for
290,000.
what was it?
290?
Yeah, 290,000.
Yeah, I'm just looking up my classification hearing. So anyway, the assessment of the town, the value of the town will not change. But your tax rate is going to change depending on what the accountants put in for numbers. So basically what's been received for receipts, et cetera, et cetera. There was something, let me just get in here. There was something that was put in status post the classification hearing, and that changes it. And that's why when I do my classification hearing, I make it well known that it is just a estimate on multiple things because they can change. Let's see.
So the levies change, is that what you're saying?
The levy has to go up.
What? I can't
So
hear him very good.
he's asking, so the levy changed?
Yes, it did. Let's see, Foxborough Mass Assessor. If you go right on, tell one of them, if they go right on to my page, the web, right into classification hearing, they will see what I'm talking about.
Hold on. All right, so Kelly, go to your page, go to the assessor's page.
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, I'm working off my phone here, so it's kind of like,
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, hang on. So what am I looking for on your page now?
It's going to be
Actually, if I do it this way, it'd be better.
27,354 based on those numbers.
Give me
The
2
levy would go
seconds.
up 1,000. or-
Contracts.
You just did the back,
One
right?
million.
I didn't expect
Yeah,
to go
just-
on, otherwise I would have
So up 1
been a
million.
little more prepared.
Is this the FY25 tax class?
Yes.
How did we open that? Miriam, how do we open that presentation without it being scrambled up?
So while she's,
So if I look at the
You have to open
classification
it up as a
hearing,
separate page.
Yeah, open it in Google
it's
Sheets.
So open it
slide,
up, right? Separate
it's a
page.
slide, the one I give you the whole breakdown, the fiscal year 25 levy limit calculations. I said, yeah, the levy to be raised, this is estimated. And I estimated 26,290,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
However, when Hunghwa put her numbers in the past accountant had numbers in there, whatever was put in, that 26 was more like, Hunghwa can look at it. I think it was like 30 million, and then after the receipts, it was something else, Hunghwa.
27,000.
Hold on, it's,
27,354,000.
30,758,710.
Yep, so that I had estimated 26 million using what our levy limit was last year, and because I didn't have any other numbers to do, it was just to give a ballpark, and it was more like 30 million when all said and done. When her numbers were put in.
30 million, that's
Okay.
above
That
above the
makes sense.
maximum.
Yeah, it's above the levy limit here. So what was the number you just mentioned, Mike?
What I just read was 30,758,710.
Well,
Okay, so that's
Well, that's
way,
above our levy. That's
Yeah.
above our levy.
that's above our levy
Now,
limit.
That's before, but now right underneath that, you'll see, hold on, Gateway. Yes, give them that bottom number after the receipts.
Yep, so the number I first gave you was the total amount to be raised, and then
Correct.
and minus the estimated receipts and other revenue sources, which is 3,883,811,
Yeah,
comes up with the tax levy
Okay.
is 26,874,899.
yeah, and I had 26,290,000, so I was shy.
One more time?
So you-
One more time, what, 26?
26,874, 899 and 28 cents.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at now. Those numbers are not hardcore because DOR has not approved any of that yet. But those are the numbers we are looking at, and until DOR approves it, Hunwa seems pretty confident right now with the numbers that are in there, from what I understand. And if she remains confident with those and DOR approves those, that's what we're looking at. But otherwise, until then, everything's just estimated, but that's a closer estimate. And I didn't know how that was going to work with your numbers this evening, and what you were doing. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that when I give my classification hearings, the only thing that is hard set in stone is the whole total value of the town, which is that 1 billion, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
Kelly, can I ask you when the DOR is probably likely to certify that? Because, I mean, for us to try and do anything without actually having really good numbers, it's kind of like, I think we're premature doing all of this, but when might we hear those
Did you hear that
numbers?
question, Kelly?
I did not.
No.
When do you think it might be likely that DOR will certify our tax rate?
So as soon as we send that gateway to DOR, which I think that you're in conversation this week, as soon as we hit the go, it can be 3 to 7 days that they approve it unless they find something more. And then once they approve it, then that's the set tax rate.
Okay,
So it's whenever we submit all that, usually we submit it right away, but we've been working on the document because of the change of chiefs there in the accountant's office. So we've been working on it, but as soon as that gets approved by DOR, and it can take up to about 7 days.
okay.
After you submit it. All right, thanks, Kelly, appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for jumping on.
Yeah.
As long as we're talking estimates,
Yeah.
and this is, let me hang up from her. This is very preliminary, because as I mentioned, the department head operational budgets just came in, but I just ran what I have so far. I'm still waiting for a few things, but I've got the town increase is just under, barely under 5%, 4.975% is what,
Yeah.
plus
Four
minus.
point what, Mike?
4.975. And again, this is me working through numbers while you're
Right.
having your meeting,
Yeah.
just trying to get a handle on it.
Well, and you
That's
have to
helpful.
negotiate contracts this year, so, you got to figure all that in too.
Right, yeah, free contracts outstanding.
Okay.
So, the contracts though, they would be a warrant article if you get them settled by May.
Correct,
Okay, and this does not include those contracts,
correct.
and this does not include COLAs.
Correct.
So we're
In my-
closer.
Yeah, in my experience, the contracts would normally be an article at a town meeting.
Right.
And generally out of free cash.
The first year, yeah.
We have to keep that in mind. So without COLAs,
This includes COLAs.
it does, the
As
bogey?
I mentioned to you at either your last meeting or the meeting before that, I had the department heads factor in COLAs of 3%, not that that's the number, but I am confident that the COLA's not going to be above 3%.
I would say Personnel Board doesn't think it's going to be that high, because I was there
Okay,
tonight.
that's good though, that's good.
Nor do I, but I don't want to commit
Okay.
wrong.
I just don't want to get anybody's expectations high, that they think they're going to get 3% plus their step.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've been very clear with everybody for
Okay.
budgeting purposes only.
Okay.
For your non-union, non-contract employees, I want you to put in 3%. And then from our end, Hanwha and I will move it down to whatever it is. I expect it's probably going to be I don't know the number, but probably more around 2.7.
Okay, but that's good, because the 4.9% includes
includes
a 3% COLA.
Yeah,
Does
includes-
not include contract negotiations.
Correct. And of course, we're still waiting, as we always do in the winter, we're waiting on our insurance increase numbers.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
waiting
yeah,
on our,
yeah.
on our county
And usually those don't
assessments,
come until
stuff like
later
that.
on.
But I gotta think Maya is gonna be faster than what Minuteman and Neshoba was, because they gotta do it for like so many people, right?
No,
Okay.
we'll get that in January.
Okay, well, January's not bad.
Yeah, we'll get that the same time, the third week of January at the MMA conference that we get our liability. Now we'll get our health insurance at that same
Okay.
meeting.
Okay,
Okay,
so that's going to be tight.
okay, so nothing else on 26 budget for now? We're all covered? Moving on to the annual report, I did make the changes that everyone suggested, send it out. I don't propose going through it now. I think it's not actually due in until January the 6th, I
Yeah,
think, something
yeah,
like that.
you're gonna have to do it tonight.
So we can do a last review before then,
Yeah.
just see what, things may have changed.
Tony, do you need us for anything else?
No, thank you, Mike.
I guess, thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
2024 Master Plan Progress Report. I had an email from the Planning Department asking for
The
input
joys of being the chair, huh?
on the 2024 Master Plan, which is a long document. I think I included it in the package that I sent out to you, like a long questionnaire. And I know we made some comments last time around CPA funding, but my sense about this is that it's not really up to the FinCom to advance and execute on master plan topics. We're really there to provide sort of oversight and sort of financial guidance when needed. So I don't think there's anything we need to actually do to that.
That's what we told them. Last
Yeah.
year, I went in and told them that. So did they, I didn't really look at this action plan.
Well, they just sent this long questionnaire. I mean, I'm just going to send back a note.
There was
saying-
one thing that the finance committee was the lead on, and we all agreed last year, I don't remember what it was, we all agreed that like, that's not our job.
Yeah, exactly.
So we
yeah. We've already dealt with that one.
we-
It's a
yeah.
CPA thing, I think.
Yeah, like that's not our job. So I
Yeah.
think that we don't have anything on the master plan we're in charge of.
No.
So nothing that we would want to make changes to.
No. So I can just write back and say
Yeah.
something to that.
Yeah,
effect,
that's what I would do.
if everyone's okay with that.
Yep. So, and they accepted, when I went back to them, I went to the planning board meeting and said exactly that.
Yeah.
This is not in our purview.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
not comfortable. They were like, yeah, no, that makes sense. So
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they were good with that.
Okay. Okay. Next thing is committee reports. Any committee reports? John.
No, not this week. Next school committee meeting is, I think, on Thursday, this Thursday.
Okay. Yeah.
I do, I have fire station. Well, first of all, the COA received an email from Becky Harris that she figured out some census numbers, and the senior population, which is 60 and over in Boxborough, is now up to 30.4%, up from 25,
What's the age on that, 60?
60 and
60,
older.
yeah. So John, welcome to the club.
Not yet. Not yet. 11 more years there, watch it.
11 more years
Yeah.
till you get to 60?
11?
You look great, John.
That was almost rude.
Wow, okay.
Did you find that surprising?
No, I'm just a little bummed out because I'm almost there. I'm like, 3 weeks away from it, and I think that 60, I personally feel that 60 number is way too low. That's my personal, almost 60-year-old opinion. Anyway, 30%
Get my
of our
birthday
population now
Right.
is, so that's important. I think that's important to note as, we keep that in mind as we go through, because yes,
Do budgets,
supporting the
yeah.
schools is important, supporting our seniors is important, and a big part of our population doesn't have kids. So,
They do get free dump stickers.
wait, you get I get a free dump sticker next year.
Wow.
That might make it worth it.
I actually
admitting
think for
that
the
I'm a
free dump
senior.
sticker, it might be 65, I hate to tell you.
Oh, there you go, of course it is. So the fire station committee met last Thursday. We're working our way through our phase 1 of our site selection. We have put, one thing that came to light with the engineers, and this is what we paid them for, they're the professionals, right? We have been going back and forth with 700 Mass Ave, the Lions property, for just so everybody understands what property that is, with the blue house. We've been going back and forth for a few years on whether or not we could do a fire station there. And we've had previous town planners who have done memos that says this just doesn't work and there's a concern about the size of the land. Putting that aside, our professional accountant that we've hired through the OPM process
Engineer.
came up with zoning issue. So when the planning board put in their zoning restriction for high bay buildings, within the body of the bylaw, I didn't realize this. It was all about, the business districts, industrial, yada, yada, yada. Apparently, there was a footnote that tied it into town center. So we can't even build, we can't build without a special permit. You'd have to get a special permit to build on that location for 8,000 square foot to 15,000 square foot building. You can't build over a 15,000 square foot building, and you can't apply for a special permit. If we applied for the special permit, we may or may not get it, but it doesn't matter because we need about a 24,000 square foot building. So for the moment, instead of spending any more engineering money on this, until we got real clarification in writing from legal, and our attorney had said, talking to Mike, yeah, you definitely would need a variance, but you can't go over 15,000 square feet. And so that really doesn't help us. So what we've done is we've put that on the back burner.
So Stowe Road is okay for that? It's not
Stowe Road Stowe Road is, it is zoned ag res.
Okay,
So it is not zoned town center, whereas
Okay.
Mass Ave, 700 Mass Ave is.
that's surprising.
Yeah, I thought, so,
I
so
thought,
anyway.
I thought it did go down at least the west side of Stowe Road quite a bit, the town center
It
zone.
goes down to the yellow building, I think. That little, that yellow building that used to be the teapot, tea room.
Yeah,
But I don't think it goes over to the other side.
it does
of the
not
road.
go over to this side. So,
So just, I'm sorry, quick
No,
question.
go ahead.
So there's no way to overcome that?
well, you'd have to go for a variance, but you'd have to change the bylaw.
And
And,
what's required of that?
I mean, that would be having to have the,
Warrant?
I mean, well, yes, it would be a warrant article. The planning board would need to change the bylaw, but then we would be delayed, and we're not looking to delay this, right? So, because we have other options. And so right now, the other two options is we saw, so we put that on the back burner, but we didn't take it off the table. We just said we're not gonna spend any engineering money until we get a legal opinion on this.
Okay.
520 Mass Ave, which is where the existing station is, we are continuing to explore, and we test fitted, very rough test fitted, a building that's onto the existing property with the existing wetland lines, and we can fit a 26,000 two-story, 26,000 square foot building. So we've authorized them to go a little bit beyond what normally would be done in phase one for site selection, because we need to do wetland delineations, because we have the wetlands. Wetlands don't get smaller, they only encroach more. But those, we don't know when those were done. Those were done 100 years ago, so we need to get those. So we've authorized them to go a little bit beyond what we had authorized them to do for phase one, so that if the wetlands allow, then, then yes, we bring this into phase two, kind of. So that's still on the table. I was surprised we could fit that building on there, but we can. The thing is, there's some concern the chief has, because we need to, the apron is now a certain number of feet from the door, right? So that the trucks can pull in and then back in completely within the property. It is half as much with this drawing. You'd have to move the building up because of the wetlands. So it's half as much. So there's a possibility we'd have to stop traffic on Mass Ave every time. So there are still concerns with 520, but it is not as out of the question. I was very surprised when I looked at it and I said, okay, it's not as out of the question as I would have initially thought.
Okay.
And 72 Stowe Road just continues to be moving forward. We're having on December 4th, here in the Grange at 10 a.m. and at 7 p.m. We're having a hybrid meeting, and it'll be in person in the Grange, and we will have hybrid, and that'll be discussing the results of phase one. And by then, we'll know whether or not 700's coming along into phase two. We'll know, we're hoping to know whether or not the existing station is even buildable at the 26,000 square foot building. So we're making progress and we're moving along. We are getting a significant amount of pushback from the abutters on the Stowe Road property.
When is the hybrid meeting?
December 4th.
Thank you.
Yep. 10 a.m. and then again at 7 p.m. So we move forward.
Great. Joe, anything?
Nothing right now. I know the library committee discussed their preliminary first draft of the budget, but it wasn't at the meeting, and the minutes are taking several meetings lag on all my committees. So I don't know, just a lag in my reporting, I guess, unless I can get to the next meeting.
Becky?
Yeah, I had CPC last week, 2 weeks ago. We got 3 final applications. The Recreation Commission did not put forward the Summer Road softball field. But Rafi, who is the assistant town planner, is going to reach out to them and see if they want to submit an application for the 50,000, which I think would be good because it would take it off the capital if we've got the money. So they've got 3. They've got the cemetery, they've got BRAP, and they've got the Conservation Trust Fund going forward. And then I had personnel tonight, and probably the big thing coming out of that is that they spent a lot of time trying to codify how they're going to do the COLA going forward and stuff. They're hopefully going to have something to discuss, like with Mike and the department heads, and then Select Board and FinCom. And I think I sort of heard December to decide the process, and then I think we'll probably know, like, at the end of this, like, before Lee leaves town. Lee's moving down to Texas, right? So before Lee moves to Texas in January, I think we'll have a better idea of what they're looking at.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have a meeting on the schedule for next week, the 19th. This meeting was added because we want to get information back to the school committee.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we should cancel that meeting if someone's got some violent objection to doing that.
That's great, because I have a conflict, so I have no objection to doing that.
Yeah, I mean, do we have anything? I mean,
Yeah, is anything going to iterate over the next
Not
7 days?
The only hot issue is the budget, but I think that that's going to take its time to
yeah.
work through.
I
Anyway,
mean, I think until Kelly gets the numbers certified and stuff. And
Yeah. So I will go ahead and cancel next week's meeting then, and we'll meet
Great.
again. The next meeting will be the first one in
December, right?
December, whenever that is. Yeah.
Okay.
It is December 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to end
So-
the meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Our second.
And you
So-
will, hold on.
Who seconded?
John, Connor,
Sorry.
Kashava is now off the meeting.
Sharp off. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just a
All
regular.
in favour?
Aye.
Okay, meeting ended at 8:42.